be light on guests throughout the course of the fair. So if anyone has a town ball story, please come up to the orange microphone.
Let's go here. Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store.
He's in no mood for my nonsense.
I really am not.
It's the fair, Joe. Loosen up.
I wish
Come
you'd
on.
remember that, too.
Hey, Such,
Yeah.
see you at the fair.
See you at the...
See, I'll turn my phone off.
Brooke, can I start?
Got a bunch of people who work for the show. All they do is eat.
Believe it.
Hey, Joe,
Words from the mayor.
are you ready?
Believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, 2 minutes early. Hey, brah, I'm rolling.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 912, August 26, 2022. In 2013, we had a run of really hot days at the fair. In 2013, it was 97 degrees on this day. In 1968, it was 44 degrees.
Oh, sorry.
And now, from the mayor's office, above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Rookie on production, Chris Reavers, director of social media, John Hyde in the newsroom, and occasionally Kenny from the Krabby Coffee Shop. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Hey, now, hey.
Hey.
We're in, there's nothing more important at the State Fair than traditions. And I'm appalled at myself forgetting one of Garage Logic's most important traditions. Yesterday, I forgot this day in history.
Oh, my.
Wow, that's important. That's important.
I've got another one for you, too, when you're done.
So I'm starting with yesterday's today. And then
Wait,
at
what?
the end of the show, we'll do the correct one.
Yesterday's Today in History.
Only because they come to us all the way from Livingstone, Zambia, Africa.
Wow.
From the traveling Lymans who are on the move at worldwidewaftage.com. Yesterday, in 1827, Minnesota's first post office was established at Fort Snelling. And yesterday, in 1901, Elmer Engstrom was born in Minneapolis. He would be involved in the development of color television during his career with RCA.
You got a color set?
I got two.
I got 3. Why?
In 1917, reacting to protests in New Ulm over the use of draftees in the European War, the Commission of Public Safety, under orders from Governor Joseph A. Burnquist, suspends Mayor Louis Fritchie from office. Other city officials and the president of Martin Luther College are also removed. These actions effectively end the protest, though Fritchie would later be reelected. And finally, yesterday in 1937, Congress established the first national monument in this state. It was Pipestone National Monument.
Oh.
Native people, including the Dakota, mined pipestone, catlinite, from the quarry inside the monument for hundreds of years. Now, at the end of the show today, we'll do today's.
I have a pipestone pipe. It's about this big.
Really?
If you know what I'm saying.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to remind people that the same merchandise available right here in our talk shop is available online. It's very simple. Go to GarageLogic.com, click on the Garage Logic at the Fair banner, and click Shop the Fair. Very easy.
You know what else we missed yesterday, Joe? Matt Otto and our poem.
Right, he's here today.
Matt's right there, yeah.
He might.
Hi, Matt.
He might do the live introduction of
Oh,
John Heights News.
good.
Yeah,
Wow,
might do
that'd
the
be
live
fun.
introduction. Do we have the Lake Detective?
Speaking of tradition,
Yes, and that is an important tradition. The Lake Detective.
here he is.
Oh, dressed for a case. Hello, LD.
He always gives the great introduction at
Always
the fair.
good to have you. He's got his fedora on. Have you taken time out from a case, LD, to be with us?
Just took a little break, but
Right.
the fish aren't going to go anyplace. They'll be there when I get back.
Has it been a good summer?
It's always interesting. I'd say it's been a good summer. Boats have all worked. They're not leaking too badly. Motors are working. Trailer tires are good. So that's,
I didn't mean your summer. Has it been a good summer on the Minnesota lakes for people?
When Joe asks how you're doing, he doesn't mean how are you doing.
the lakes, they're always interesting too. A little bit different year this year. Some lakes are up and some lakes are down.
Oh,
so,
boy.
it's a little bit droughty here down in the southern part of the state,
Yes.
and up north, lake levels are just fine. So lake levels are dictating a lot of things going on in those lakes.
Steve brings up a good point. John actually asked him a question off the air. He didn't think it was airworthy, but I really do. Why don't you ask it again, John?
Well, when I drive back to North Dakota, in the old days, maybe 20 years ago, there were little ponds kind of all over the place along I-94.
Potholes.
Now a few of those are large enough that I would consider them lakes. And I wanted to know, how did that happen? How did they become that big when they were just a little pond of water?
Well, they were probably a little pond of water when you saw them, but they were probably a bigger lake, 100, 200 years ago. These are all, like Kenny was saying, these potholes, these wetland potholes, they come and go. We've had precipitation patterns that have started to fill those things up, probably bringing them almost to historical levels. So when you saw them as they were small, that might have been the exception.
Okay.
Maybe they're heading back toward their normal area, but there's these wide fluctuations. Most lakes can fluctuate 6 to 10 feet over a long historical period.
Never been stumped.
Never been stumped.
Never been stumped. I have a note for you, LD, from our friend Bill Stein up on Cedar Lake, north of Mille Lacs in
Aiken.
Crow Wing County. Yep.
Yep.
At the fair, please give my warmest personal regards to my friend the lake detective. Last year, our Cedar Lake Conservancy hired Steve and his company, Blue Water Science, to get the drop on the very beginning infestation of zebra mussels in our heretofore pristine lake. Of course, LD did a fantastic job of assessing the situation. From what I could glean from the report, it seems some lakes are not good candidates to support zebra mussels. I would like to ask LD if the healthy population of ciscos and buffalo fish, the ones that haven't been killed by jackass bow fishermen, these fish live to be 100 years old, bode well for the lake as they eat the veligers, the larvae of the mussels. Am I correct in this? What other factors make a lake resistant to zebra mussels?
Boy, that's a great question.
Yes, it is, and
And
you've never been stumped.
These citizen scientists on these lakes are top notch. They have great observations, and sometimes I learn a lot from them just because they've been on the lake for years and decades. And he has some good points there. The cisco or the tulipbee in the lake probably are not big planktivore eaters on the veligers, but the veligers are these little larvae that come from the zebra mussels. You have boy zebra mussels and girl zebra mussels. They put out their gametes, boom. They fertilize in the middle of the lake water column, develop into a larvae, swim around, and then they settle out and attach. When they're still floating around, that's the time to eat them. And some of these omnivores, like buffalo fish and even bluegills, will eat the veligers, and eventually that's going to be kind of a control. Also, right now, zebra mussels are so new in Minnesota, they've only been here 20, 30 years, that eventually those omnivores like the bluegills and crappies and perch, they're going to say, hey, this is a food source. And all of a sudden they're going to start eating those little juveniles that are attached. That's another way that they can be controlled naturally. But Mother Nature has ways of balancing things out. Now, he's read about some lakes are more optimal than others. Some are suboptimal. And it has to do, one thing is calcium. If there's low calcium concentration in the water, they don't have enough calcium then for shell formation.
Okay.
So that's going to limit their growth.
I see.
Lake Superior's had zebra mussels since the 80s, late 80s. Do you ever see them? Hardly ever.
No.
The calcium concentration in Lake Superior is about 3 milligrams per liter. That's not very much. And that's going to limit their growth and shell production. So some lakes that are low like that, they won't have much of a problem. It'll be suboptimal. Also, if a lake is very fertile and has blue-green algae blooms, they can't filter the filamentous blue-greens.
I see.
So they don't have a food source. So that will limit their growth as well.
So the answer is yes.
In summary, yes.
So, LD, how long, we're told on lakes that have been infested, we're supposed to clean our boats and trailers after we pull our stuff out of the water. How long can they survive on the bottom of my boat?
Well, a little veliger can't survive very long at all, and maybe an hour.
Right.
However, if your boat's in the water overnight or even for a couple of days, you'll get maybe the adults. They'll detach, float around, then attach to another solid surface. So
Yeah.
you could drive out with some attached zebra mussels after a day or two of a boat sitting in the water with a lot of zebra mussels.
That's not the answer I was looking for. I was hoping you would confirm that my laziness is okay. I pull my skanky pontoon out of the water in August, and then I don't put it back in until the following
Well,
June.
you should be covered.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
I'm
Yeah,
good. I
they're
don't
not-
have to
yeah.
wash that sumbitch off, do I?
In fact, LD Kenny's pontoon is called the cirrhosis of the river.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, not bad.
LD, how's business, Blue Water Science?
Well, it's always fun. It's always interesting. I can't believe some days, like yesterday, we were out on a lake, and you had the eagles, coming down, swooping down, harassing the loons, things
Right.
like that. I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of raking up the plants and looking at them going,
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. Look at that.
Good way to make a living, isn't it?
It's not bad. From that standpoint, it's always good. It's always a good day on the lake. So that's my office during the summer. And we're doing a little bit of plant work. We got some fish work. We have some invasive species work.
Normally you bring with you some milfoil,
Yes.
and you didn't this year because you have milfoil under control throughout the state, don't you?
Well, we're watching it,
Yeah.
and we know how to control it. And this year, for some reason, there was a mystery out there.
Right.
We were on some of these big lakes, big, deep lakes, looking for milfoil.
Right.
Because if there's some heavy patches, we'll circle it up and we'll have somebody else come in and treat it.
Okay.
I don't treat it. But we couldn't find any.
Oh.
Where was the Eurasian milfoil this year in these big lakes?
Wonderful.
So what happened is we came back, a couple of homeowners are going, well, I think you better come back and check again. So we did. And we did find there was some late season growth, but northern milfoil, our native milfoil, dominated this year in a lot of lakes, which is a little bit mysterious.
It's not a winter kill thing, is it?
I don't think it's a winter kill. I think it might be lake level fluctuation.
Oh.
And we had some cold days in June,
I'll say we did.
and that might have hindered some of the growth.
Now, Gumption County residents, if you're lake dwellers or have lake questions, we have a microphone right here for you because LD's never been stumped. I will not allow that to ever happen, by the way, as I protect the brand. But LD's never been stumped, and it's always Marjorie's the first guest at the fair. You're always the second guest at the
Been
fair.
like that.
And you're in the Garage Logic Hall of Fame.
I appreciate it. It's in a prominent spot back in that mahogany panel, office.
Right.
Which means he thoroughly dispatched of it right away.
No,
in
no,
some
he's
drawer
got it.
somewhere.
He's got it. He's got
Such,
it.
he walked here from Hamlin. Hamlin. That's like 3-4 miles away.
That's nothing. That's a good walk.
That's a good walk, and plus, I bet you I beat a lot of folks who are still back there in traffic.
Right. Is that where you parked over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
You could have come to the station and rode the shuttle with us.
Yeah, now you tell me.
Yeah. I forgot to tell LD that he could do
Well,
that.
what you can do, LD, is you can ride the shuttle back to the station with us, and Joe can drop you off at your car
That's
in
a
Hamlin
good
on
idea.
his way out of town.
I'd be glad
There you
to.
go.
I'd be
Yeah.
glad
Fine.
to. All right, thank you very much, LD.
You're
It's
welcome.
always a pleasure. Blue Water Science, Steve McComas, he's been solving lake problems in this state and others for, what are you going on, about 25 years?
Maybe a little bit longer than that.
Longer than that?
Some of my data now are historical.
Really?
Yeah,
And you know what? You're consulted by other people, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, we come in. Yeah.
Are you known as a limnologist?
Yes, that's what would be the technical word, or an aquatic scientist.
An aquatic scientist,
That-
ladies and gentlemen.
That covers it.
Right here, the lake detective. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
I want to remind. Yeah, there goes the
Gotta
lake
have the
detective's
outro.
theme.
My.
Thanks, LD.
Thanks, LD.
You're the best. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Exit stage left.
I want to remind people that Pronto Pups are the official Garage Logic food on a stick this year, and we have a first-hand report from Reavers who went on, left the shuttle, and on his way here got a Pronto Pup. And how were they? How was it?
Here's what happened, boss. I first had to go get cash.
Yep.
So I stopped at the ATM, got some cash, and then I went to the first Pronto Pup stand, and the line She was a little long.
Really?
And I know you had a lot of urgency to begin today's program
Yes.
promptly
What?
at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
So then I thought, well, there's another one right over here by the K102 booth. So I
There are
stopped.
8 locations.
Correct. So I thought, well, you know what? That line's long. I'll head over this way.
Right.
That line was even longer.
Oh, boy.
And so I said, well, I'll just head back and get some deep fried ravioli.
Just
instead.
think, it's a treat waiting for you
I
later
can't
today.
wait. You know,
Later today.
the batter, it's almost like a dessert.
And the Karras family has had Pronto Pups on the fairground since 1947. There are 8 locations. And
Don't the long lines signify advertising on Garage Logic works?
it signifies success and a great product.
Correct.
And a great product. So thank you to Pronto Pups, the official food on a stick in Garage Logic. We'll be back shortly.
Johnny Heidi, you ready?
John, you ready?
You ready? Okay. All right. I am rolling in false alarm. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Not just a newsman, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. John Haidt, the guitar-playing newsman.
Such, Ingy is circulating the crowd. He came up to me and claims that he gargles with seafoam. I would not advise that.
No.
Do not do that.
But I also don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it a minute, but I do not advise that. What I do advise is whenever you see it in the store, you're walking by, you're there for another reason, grab a can or two, because you never know when you're going to run out in that chem cab. And this stuff is available elsewhere. You might not find the pair of jeans you're looking for, or the nuts and bolts you're looking for, but you will find a can of Seafoam because the stuff is everywhere. Equities, co-ops, knack hardware stores, auto parts stores, you name it, repair shops. It's available the world over. It's absolutely the best thing you can do. It's the best commitment you can make to your cylinders. Make the investment. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of headaches, and a lot of money down the road. You really should be buying this stuff by the gallon. It's actually available by the gallon. It keeps everything within the confines of your engines happy from intake to exhaust. It's a true miracle. It's magic in a can, a wonderful product in a world of bad gas. It's Seafoam.
I used it last night.
And a boy.
Yeah.
Good
What were you
job.
working on?
This went into a new vehicle. I see no reason why not to add it to new vehicles.
Why not?
Heck yes.
Yeah, especially when they're fuel injected and turboed and the whole deal. Say, I have some things I would like to address to the Gumption County residents while we anticipate Doris with today's State Fair animal, which will be coming up shortly. First of all, Gumption County residents wish to congratulate Rachel Rinda. She's the 69th Princess K of the Milky Way. She's not here today with us, but she will be, I would imagine, before the fair is concluded. She is from Montgomery, Minnesota. She's 19 years old. And her first official duty, of course, was yesterday to sit in the cooler and have her butter carving likeness done. Mm-hmm. And so congratulations to...
I'd like to see a butter carving of Klondike Kate.
that would take a lot of butter.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
It's either Rachel Rinda or Rynda. Excuse me, Rynda. It's Rynda. Rachel. I'm going to go with Rinda.
I'd say Rinda.
I'm going to go with Rinda.
Help me, Rinda.
And I want to apologize, and it's totally on me and completely my fault. You Gumption County residents recall the other day that we got an email from a fellow who was suggesting that I read this, it's going to go viral, and it was about John Deere
Oh, yeah.
testing electric vehicles. Raise your hand if you remember that. Yes, many people are raising their hand. All right.
Can you just give us a synopsis of what the letters sounded like?
Well, we were on kind of our anti-EV rant, so the email played into our hands, played into mine, and I did preface it by saying I have no idea whether this is true or not, but it sounded plausible.
We can do that?
You said that with the hook in your mouth.
It
though.
was in my mouth. You're right.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Sean, I've made a career doing it.
And basically, the guy said he knows a neighbor who is got a partnership farm with John Deere, farms 10,000 acres. Using all John Deere equipment, and John Deere has in the works starting next year to be using electric combines.
Yeah, and I thought no greater place than the State Fair where there's an agricultural angle to correct this. Joe, I can't believe you read the John Deere electric combine story. This is right off the pages of Twitter and Facebook. Are you letting Chris vet your emails? No, this was my fault. First point, John Deere would not completely change out a farmer's line of equipment with prototype equipment. For my understanding, they will bring a prototype out to a farmer and under John Deere's direct supervision, use that equipment on their land. The farmer still owns or leases their own line of equipment to ensure they can run their operation. Those farmers need to sign a non-disclosure agreement. If that farmer was getting a supposed electric combine, he would be in violation of a non-disclosure agreement by even talking about it. With all the farm shows going on, I have not seen one combine on display that is all electric for widespread use. There are a few electric tractors out there for small farms and vineyards, but no large-scale farm equipment. Second point, and many emailers wanted to make this point. Field corn, not sweet corn, is not checked for sugar content in the field. Many agricultural types would know that. I live closest to the country's tallest buildings, which is why I'm at fault. I've been around farming all my life, and I've never heard of that. If corn is left in the field too long, yield and test weight can suffer. The composition of the kernel of corn in field corn is determined by a favorable growing season, which allows the plant to come to full maturity. Yield will suffer due to loss on the ground as the plant degrades, because it can't be harvested. I would have expected this type of story on the Krabby Coffee Shop.
Oh, wow.
Not GL.
That was mean.
Maybe Kenny can get this guy on the phone and ask him if his nipples have been harvested by an electric nipple harvesting
tuned.
machine.
I get the reference. That's
Grant,
actually
you're
very
Fargo,
funny.
North Dakota.
That's very funny.
And finally, I also want to mention Jacob from New Ulm, who writes, Joe, unfortunately, the article an emailer sent to you regarding John Deere asking a partner farmer to use electric combines is fake. Although sounding like a plausible situation, a further investigation uncovers certain verbiage that tipped me to believe the post was fake. And it goes on to say basically what the last thing said. The last thing I noted was the emphasis on picking corn at the right sugar content. I don't know a single farmer who checks the sugar content of the corn or cares about it, unless, of course, it's sweet corn, which is picked using a sweet corn picker, a product that John Deere doesn't even make. Farmers harvest corn based on the moisture content of the kernels, which will determine if they have to dry it down using a dryer or put it straight in the bin. Always pushing back and setting the record straight. A 22-year-old farmer and part-time truck driver, Jacob from New Ulm.
Here.
Thank you.
I
very
looked it
much.
up on Snopes, Joe. The letter you read is on Snopes, word for word.
Yeah, no, I apologize.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd learn after all these
You'd
years.
think.
You'd think I'd learn.
If
after
I
all these
may,
years.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
one of the things that we're doing here at the Great Minnesota Get Together, and those of you in attendance can let others know that are not able to make it to the Minnesota State Fair, we are live streaming all of the action on both our Facebook page and the Garage Logic YouTube page. You just have to hit that subscribe button. And we do have a question from the YouTube audience, if you don't mind. This comes to us from Ryan. And Ryan says, are you guys going to do a grill contest still? I'd like to win the new grill at the fair. Still one of the best segments ever in Garage Logic.
Do you know there are people here with families, and the man and the woman met each other at this show?
Really?
Oh,
Really?
yeah, there's a
Wow,
couple.
really?
Yeah, that's been happening over the years.
That's, yeah.
Aren't you the one that wanted the Garage Logic dating service? Isn't that
That was years ago.
You're quite the matchmaker.
That was years ago.
It was a great idea in theory, the Garage Logic dating service, because you saw it may be a 6 foot tall, dark, and handsome man and a
Thank you.
voluptuous woman that is ready to date, but it turned out to be 500 Ingies,
Yeah.
Oh,
and that
wow.
kind of just kind of went.
I have a note from Downing, a frequent contributor. You want someone to name something for Marjorie Johnson at the fair? You're a mayor. Exercise your mayoral authority.
Ooh, good point.
The answer is right under your feet. The time has come to dedicate the Marjorie Johnson Blue Ribbon Porch. I'm for that. I'm with that.
We'd be featured on all the late night talk
Yes.
shows. That's a good point.
All right,
Stop.
What?
I mean, the agricultural building, the education building.
No, you got a porch here.
Ding, ding, you got the front frickin' porch here for Marjorie Johnson.
The stool Kenny's
She might
sitting on.
reject it. She might reject
It was
it.
a great thought.
No, I have Marjorie texted me.
Come on.
Keep going.
All right, I have a
God,
wonderful.
once I hit 50, my eyes went bad. St. Paul Eye Clinic, why aren't you a sponsor to Garage Logic
just
so I
worked
can
in
get
a
my
plug.
eyes fixed?
Wow.
He just worked
Nice
in a
plug.
plug.
And I am a patient at the St. Paul Eye Clinic. Here's
So
for
am I.
Marjorie.
My eyes work.
Call us now.
Well, here we go. Hi, Rookie. I am here beside the ribbon in the Guinness Book for largest ribbon, Marjorie. This was yesterday. She said after the show. So she sent me a picture. She's standing next to a huge blue ribbon. I am excited. You want to name something at the fair after me. Call me when you know what it is, Marjorie. I'm really sad that she's going to be a little disappointed. We decided to name the the front grass porch or wherever.
She gets one stool.
Don't tell her that. That might be the final thing that pushes her over.
You know what? I don't want to be responsible for
Don't
that.
say
I
that.
told you I had a number of items I
Go.
wanted to get done in the manner of a Garage Logic podcast. You all know the tennis player Novak Djokovic?
Sure.
All right. This guy, this emailer Dave, has a wonderful idea. Joe, here's another letter I have sent to the Star Tribune that will not see the opinion page. I'm not one of the 10 or so mostly progressive opinion letter writers they focus on, but you might find the content interesting and very ironic. Here's what he wrote to the Star Tribune. Novak Djokovic is currently the 6th-ranked tennis player in the world. He is the number 2 all-time leader in Grand Slam wins with 21 wins to Rafael Nadal's 22 wins. By any and all accounts, he is one of the greatest to ever play the game. Very entertaining and fun to watch. He will not play in the U.S. Open this year because, as a foreigner, he must show proof, not of a negative COVID test, but of being vaccinated against COVID to enter the country.
Yep.
Note to Novak, according to the U.S. Border Patrol, by July 1st, 2022, 2,002,604 illegal immigrants have entered the U.S. Many, if most, were not vaccinated. So here's his advice to Novak. Fly to Mexico. Cross the Texas border into the U.S. Governor Abbott of Texas will put you on a bus at no expense to New York
Right.
City.
Yep.
Play in the tournament and win. Now you are tied with Nadal for the most Grand Slam wins of all time. Joe, it doesn't seem like a healthy guy playing a tennis match in an outdoor stadium poses much of a COVID threat to anyone. Always pushing back, Dave Arundel. I thought it was a great point.
Yep.
Great point.
How do you argue with that?
You can't. That's why we're not going to. Kelsey wants me to know, and I'm thrilled to announce this. I'm thrilled. You know what the post service,
Post office?
the postal service is going to do?
Huh.
Release sheets of stamps of classic American muscle cars.
Wow.
Really?
Those- yeah,
I will
want
load
those.
up.
Yep.
I will load up.
I have a beef with the post office.
So,
all right?
here we go.
I'm going to address it to you since you're the mayor of a fake town.
We have a post office in Garage Logic. It's in the. It's also part of the Knack Hardware and Lounge.
We also
Right.
have an employee sitting in the front row who announced his own fair dates.
Right. I live in a small town. If I send a letter to another person or mail a bill to another person in this small town,
Right.
I address the envelope, I enclose the check, I put the stamp on it, everything's tidy and right and proper, drop it off at the post office. That letter, instead of going from the inbox to the guy's mailbox, goes to Minneapolis.
Right.
Comes all the way back.
Right.
Takes 3-4 days.
Right.
Small town.
That's how you get.
It's a
how you get the mail
5-foot walk.
sorted.
It's a
Yeah.
5-foot walk to go into his mailbox.
Well, the mistake you made was not just delivering it yourself.
The mistake I made was trusting in the U.S. government
Good
and their
people.
ability to deliver the mail.
Well, you
no
know, I
wonder
defend
your
the
damn
post office.
post office, your stamps are so damn expensive.
To
This
me,
is an
it's-
outrage.
To me, it's still a miracle. What's a stamp cost?
I don't know. It's like $8 a piece,
No,
aren't they?
they're not $8.
Where's Engie? Engie, how much is a stamp?
Oh, he.
No,
here,
no,
we
no,
have
no.
a-
No,
Very quick point of information.
I
go
apologize.
ahead.
This man knows his post
Go
office.
ahead, Postmaster General.
I know that the cost just keeps going up forever, but I believe it's about 58 cents.
Forever.
Now, Kenny, here's your issue. You're
Here
mailing
we
it from
go.
what, Elk River?
The crowd is leaving.
Yes.
It's
Somewhere.
going to go to a distribution center. It's going to get sorted by machine, and then it's going to get sent to that post office. That's why it doesn't take 3 or 4 days.
Postmaster General, why can't it go from the box that it drops into when I put it in the slot 10 feet down the road to the guy's P.O., or 10 feet down the room to the guy's slot? What the hell?
Were you listening to my answer?
No, he wasn't.
Not really.
He
Okay.
wasn't.
No,
All right.
not
Well,
really.
you know what? Listen to the show sometime
Wow. He got
instead
me.
of being
got
on
me.
it.
I,
I'm gonna.
He gets a rim shot.
He's
That was a pretty
wearing
good one.
his Garage Logic Hall of Fame medal.
Yes, he is.
I need to tie two things together. Sir, with the North Star cap, could you approach the microphone, please, for me?
Although he's not
Couple
wearing
things.
his mirror bald helmet today.
No.
He's not.
Oh, he's still decked out
That's true.
festively.
Yes, he is.
Sir, I know you are a huge garage logician. I know your mother is a huge garage logician. Would you please identify yourself for the crowd?
My name is Father Nels Jengdahl. I'm chaplain out at Holy Family Catholic High School out in Victoria.
Are you a priest?
Yes, that's
No,
what the
his first name is
not a
Father.
biological
Yeah, his
father,
first
but
name is
Well, he
yeah.
doesn't
Father
have
is
the outfit
father.
on.
Oh, hey, he
Well,
dropped-
hello,
Even
Father.
the Lutheran picks that up, but the Catholics don't. But that's good.
A couple things about Father Jengdahl. He, years back, was on the.
Excommunicated you.
Well, no, not yet, not quite. I told him I broke the 12th commandment. He reminded me there's only 10.
Right.
So I said I made up a couple extras. He did the red ball ice thing
Oh, boy.
years
Oh.
ago.
Crashed ice?
I went down the Red Bull crashed ice course twice.
How'd that go?
I tore my PCL.
Yeah.
I did not know I had a PCL.
Tell you
That's kind of like the 12th commandment, right?
Yeah, oh wow. Yeah. I know exactly where it is now.
Yeah.
maybe, I hate to say this, maybe you had a little bit too much faith.
Oh well, my mom was working the rosary beads so much that the wooden one turned to sawdust by the end.
You figured it'd be even.
I am going to say that Father Jengdahl is going to marry my son Matthew and
No,
his
that's
fiancée.
not accurate. I'm not marrying them. I'm celibate.
That's right,
But
that's
that's
true.
wonderful.
He will be the. That's very true. That's words have meaning. Don't they, Joe?
Yes, they do.
Words
He gets
have
one,
meaning.
too.
What are you going to do? What do you do? You
I will receive the vows or be the officiant or have really the best seat in the house for the entire wedding.
That is true.
right.
And I just wanted to recognize you. I know you're a huge fan of Garage Jack, and I wanted to say thank you. Now I'm tying in the wedding to the post office here. My mother
He's got a scam working.
My mother
somewhere
did
here.
the envelopes. She calligraphed all the envelopes for the wedding. I didn't get our invite for the longest time. Why? Because she put the wrong zip code for my house.
Oh, boy.
Judith put the wrong zip code for my house. However, somebody in the South St. Paul post office did some digging, checked it out, switched it, and sent it to our house because
That's the
they
kind
knew
of service you get.
That's so I will tip of the cap to the postal service, Ingy. You had nothing to do with it at all, but I just wanted to say hats off to the post office.
he comes.
And I
here he
wanted to
comes.
say thank you to
Wait a
Father
minute
Jengdahl
now.
for
Thank
coming
you,
over.
Father.
Thanks, Father.
Optical scanners may not read the calligraphy, so that might be another issue.
Are you saying she's a crummy calligrapher?
No, I'm saying that we have bad
She knows
optical
Donald
scanners.
Jackson, who was the scribe to the Queen.
You've
Okay,
lost
again.
control.
How do we
Trying
know
to
that
help,
he-
man.
they didn't want
Trying
Rookie
to
invited to the
You've
wedding?
lost control.
Hey, by the
that
way,
could be too.
I didn't get my invite either.
Is Doris with us, Rook?
She will be shortly.
She's on her way, but I don't know what animal she has today.
Well, then, may I tell you in the interim, did you know this, ladies and gentlemen? I noticed this in the newspaper today. Minnesota could be home, and I find this terribly significant. Minnesota could be home to the world's oldest rock.
Huh.
Think about that for a minute.
How do they determine?
They count the rings.
They're going to cut it in half. You murder to dissect.
Boy, this didn't print well.
While you're looking for that,
That's how it goes every day, folks.
There
every
are
day.
3.5 billion year-old rocks in the Minnesota River Valley. They're internationally known by geologists. The rocks tell the story of how North America developed and represent rare example of Earth's early crust formed so long ago that scientists still aren't sure how the planet even operated at the time.
Huh.
What do
Come
you
on,
mean
you're at the
operated?
fair. We're going to learn something. That's fantastic. Much of the early history of Earth has disappeared, said David Southwick, former director of the Minnesota Geological Survey. Here in the Minnesota River Valley is a place where a little bit of that ancient construction of the Earth is still preserved. Right here in Minnesota.
3.5 billion?
Yes. Isn't that something?
So the
It's
sun.
not hard to find some of Minnesota's ancient rock since it decorates prominent buildings from the Twin Cities to Singapore. And this goes on, it's a Star Tribune story, to tell us that
What do you mean? So it's a granite. It's granite then.
it could be. Minnesota is one of a few places on the globe.
Angie, you got anything else?
He's got a lot.
No. Where fragments of the Earth's early crust remain intact. Our ancient rocks are located in the Minnesota River Valley, and it's just, I think this is very interesting. I hope you agree with me, Gumption County residents, that we could be home to the world's oldest rocks.
That's neat.
That's pretty neat.
What did the limestone say to the
No, I'm doing a
archaeologist?
thing on these rocks.
What did the limestone say to the archaeologist?
I don't know.
Stop taking me for granted. Wow. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Not even a smirk.
Joe might leave now.
Yeah, boy, get late, huh, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I thought
That is very interesting. 3.5 billion years. What? How do
That's
we?
fascinating, Joe.
How did the
I
Earth
really
operate at that time?
Thank you for bringing that to
Well,
us
let me
today.
let me do a double check. Gumption County residents, do you find that interesting?
Yeah.
Thank
that's-
you.
Tell them what
Thank
they
you.
are, Kenny. Tell them what they are.
They're Gumption County residents.
They're sycophants.
Yeah. You're as bad as I am. You sold out, folks. No pride.
Well, congratulations to the geologists who have made this fascinating discovery. We'll be back
You know
in
what
just a moment, I hope, with Doris.
Yeah, we will be, but I want to tell you how you can pick up your life. This might be a great thing for church, too. Where's Jengdal? Did he leave already?
I have no
He
idea.
took off?
Yeah.
How about some spiral light candles in church? You know, he's got maybe a boring homily. Nobody's paying attention. They're all just watching the spiral light candle.
Let's take it
turn
up a
on.
notch, Father.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, let's rip a priest during a candle commercial.
I'm not ripping. I'm saying this would enhance his. People would be mesmerized. I stopped over yesterday and saw Todd at the Spiral Light Candle booth, which is right in the middle of the grandstand on the main floor, right by the stairs. And I checked out the mini donut candle. It smells like a bag of mini donuts.
I would hope so.
If you haven't been over there, check them out. Stop burning boring candles, folks. Check out the Spiral Light Candles at spirallightcandles.com or visit them in the grandstand during the run at the State Fair. They also have the Cylinder Index candle, which smells like the garage. It's a thing of beauty. Check them out. They're a Garage Logic family. Started in the garage, and they're wonderful people. It's a family business, and it's been very successful, in part due to Garage Logic getting the word out. So stop burning boring candles. It's a great anniversary gift. It's a great post-fair gift, Christmas, whatever the case may be. Great hostess gift. They burn in a circular motion. It's tough not to stare at that while you're burning it. SpiralLightCandles.com.
Johnny, you ready? You ready, Johnny? You ready? Rolling in 3, 2,
And always be
1.
nice. All right, good luck. Let me go. Let me go with these sides.
That last story you did, my son was here, and now
Where'd he go?
He's gone. So thanks, buddy. Thanks, Such. Appreciate that.
What did I do?
Well, it was that fascinating story about rocks and billions of years ago.
We could have talked to him.
yeah,
gone?
You could have, but Joe
He-
drove him away.
He did something that totally mimicked you. I saw you complete. It was a dismissive. Leave me alone. Don't look at me. And I saw you doing that. So that has transferred to your son. So I'm impressed.
He learns from the best.
Yes.
Speaking of many years ago, it all started in 1967, where the Majestic Oaks Golf Course now stands in Ham Lake. We're talking about Hay Day, a one-day event. They threw some hay down in a field and did some drag racing with snowmobiles. Kicked into high gear in the mid-'70s. That's when I started going, Joe, leaning against a snow fence.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. And then in the 80s, the swap meet came along. They expanded it to 2 days, and finally the Snow Barons bought their own property and moved it to where it is now, east of Hay Days. And it's the sign of winter. The end of the state fair and Hay Days signals winter is about to get here. It's a place where all of us petrol heads can go and hang out with the Snow Barons at their 140-acre facility. Everybody's going to be there. Arctic Cat, Polaris, Skidoo, Yamaha, the factory rigs will be there. Their racers will be there. Dealers will be there selling last year's inventory at incredible discounts. And, you know, there's ATV races, side-by-side races. You can test drive stuff. It's absolutely the funnest 2 days you can possibly have at the end of the summer. And the swap meet. Bring a trailer, bring a truck, bring a wheelbarrow, bring a wagon, because you're going to find something you love. It's all taking place September 10th and 11th, the weekend after Labor Day. Highway 95, about 7 miles east of North Branch. You can download their app and stay in the know at the event. And, of course, you can go to their website, haydays.com.
John, are you going to bring a different guitar every day?
You got to turn.
Every day, should I?
Why not?
I
Show off your
could.
collection. Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Here's-
That means by the end of next week, we might have some very odd sounding things.
That's
going
all
on.
right. Here's
That's
John
all right.
Haidt in his State Fair
Do
newsroom,
you-
Gumption County residents.
Do you know that in the movie Back to the Future,
Yeah.
there was a mishap?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What
sure.
is it?
The guitar that he used had not been invented yet.
Isn't that thrilling?
Yeah.
Well,
Johnny-
it is to a guitar geek, but you know
Yeah.
these guys. I
The
don't
rocks are much better. Here's John
think-
Haidt.
the rock story's better apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. State Fair Day 2. Today's theme is Governor's Fire Prevention Day.
Stop right there.
Yes, sir.
Rook, we understand the governor's on the grounds.
The governor's on the grounds.
You have reached out to his people,
His chief of staff, yes.
and you never got a technical confirmation of his arrival here, but you did what you could, and the chief of staff said what?
The chief of staff replied in an email saying, I am including the press secretary in this email, and we will go from there. So that's where it was left. But I was told personally by Governor Walz, face to face, that he wanted to come on Garage Logic when I met him. My friend saw him at the airport, and he said, yes, I will come on Garage Logic at the State Fair this year.
How many people here in the Gumption County audience think that Walls will show up today? Not one hand went up. Not one hand went up.
I was optimistic for a while.
Right.
If he shows up, I'm going to do the same thing I did when Don Shelby hosted for you. I'm going to take off.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what I
Kenny
might do,
does
though?
want to be
I might
here.
track him down. If he's doing an interview with Hauser, I may say, Gov. Come on.
Well, remember, we're on a time
I was going to say
constraint.
the host might be halfway.
You
through.
might be interviewing him.
I might be interviewing him.
Here's
Okay.
John Height.
Thank you very much. Hey, weren't we going to have Matt do this live?
Oh, yeah, Matt Otto.
where's Matt at?
The official poet of Garage
Poet
Logic.
laureate.
Poet laureate will introduce the John Height newsroom live.
How many beers in are you, Matt?
Only one so far.
Okay,
Nice.
all
But
right.
the day is young.
Right, right.
How old were you when you started bothering me years ago?
17.
I'd like to hear his deal here.
You were a real pain in the ass.
Right back at you, buddy. Remember,
Got
I
it.
worked here for you guys for 12 years.
Copy.
London, Madrid, Bangkok, Moscow, the Twin Cities. From the four corners of the world.
State Fair.
From the news capitals at home and abroad. The day's headlines brought into focus the issues and events that shape our time. Garage Logic, the information beacon of Minnesota, presents the John Height News Experience. An up-to-the-minute
Oh, it's not
commentary
done.
from one of journalism's
There's
most
more?
trusted
Not done.
voices. 5-time winner of the Gopher Newshawk Award. Now, with all the news fit to broadcast from his remote State Fair newsroom, here's John Height. Trim it up, baby.
Hey, trim it up, baby. Yeah.
Well, that
Are we out of time?
takes all the time I had, so
I got some more stuff if you guys
No,
want to
that's
kill some time.
You know,
we're
you'd think
fine.
a guy would have memorized that, huh? You
Well,
needed the cheat sheet?
after a beer, you know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a
Matt, why
little
don't you
memory bracelet.
hustle off and get us a bunch of beer, would you?
Sure, you got
Hey.
cash?
Day 2 of the State Fair. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Today's theme is Governor's Fire Prevention Day. Young members of Fire Explorers will face off in a fire safety competition all day long. Plus, you can see a mock car crash demo, 3:30, right over here at Dan Patch
That's
Park
always a
Stage.
thrill.
Oh,
It is.
they're actually going to crash the car?
I don't think so, Ken.
Oh, darn it.
At the grandstand tonight, two bands that made their mark back in the 1990s, Counting Crows and the Wallflowers.
Oh,
Such,
man.
Such, we've talked frequently about how fun it would be in the old days. They'd crash a steam engine
Oh,
at
boy.
a fair.
They used to do that here.
Why couldn't we do that with a car?
Yeah, you
That'd be a
could.
grandstand event.
I
That'd be
think
a
so.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
John, the first 2 night shows are ones that actually attend. Did they sell out last night?
I do not know.
The crowd, I saw a couple video shots. It looked packed.
I would.
I can tell you
I
if
would-
they sold out or not if John keeps doing his news.
Okay, I will, but I would love to see Counting
How many
Crows. to
how
be
many
truthful.
legal Minnesota gummy bears do you have to eat to go to work up the gumption to see those clowns?
I like Counting Crows. I like the Wallflowers
Wallflowers
too.
are great.
Well,
Kenny.
that's Jacob Dylan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One State Fair note: because of scheduling conflicts, the State Fair has canceled Disney Princess the concert. That was set to close out the grandstand on Labor Day. If you bought a ticket with a credit card, you'll be refunded automatically within 5 to 10 business days. The concert was set to feature a quartet of Broadway and animated film stars performing songs from Disney's numerous princesses. In its place, the grandstand will now host a free Kids' Day concert at 4 p.m. September 5th. The family-friendly event will feature performances by the B2 Twins, Yo-Yo Master and juggler Mark Hayward, and the singing sisters, the Dolly Pops. No tickets are required for the show. Seating will be just general admission.
Whatever happened to Ole and Lena? Wasn't that their name?
No, Tina and Lena.
Oh, Tina and Lena.
Tina and Lena.
Yeah.
Well, whatever happened to the guy on the big wheel? that we had?
He retired.
Wacky Wheeler.
Yeah.
I think he retired before he died.
Sean Emery. Can't we
Sean
bring
Emery.
him out of
Sean,
retirement?
he retired too, right?
Did you see the picture on the Metro section of today's Star Tribune? It's a picture of Pete Buttigieg with, he's the U.S. Transportation Secretary. He knows as much about transportation as Inge knows about nuclear fission. And he's with Omar, the always available Ilhan Omar, to get her picture taken. Tina Smith, the always available, and the always available Amy Klobuchar. And there he is. He was at the, I don't know where the hell he was, at a
He was
pizza
in
booth
front of
or
the pizza
something.
booth, yeah.
But there, what was the story? Committing to dollars to Lake
He
Street.
came to town to ride a bus up and down Lake Street.
And they're going to make a commitment to rebuilding Lake Street. It'd be nice if they would have made a commitment to saving Lake Street
That's right.
before it was torched.
That's right.
So at least Ilhan was in town.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, she was here.
A new report from the Minnesota Department of Education shows the state's public schools are falling behind after statewide assessments done in 2022. The assessments, which include the Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments, Minnesota Test of Academic Skills, Access for English Language Learners, and alternate access for English Language Learners, show slight declines in the number of students. Math is up, Joe.
That's fantastic. I want you to take a pause
Yes.
because Doris is here.
Oh, where's Doris?
Doris is here with today's State Fair animal.
Hey, Doris.
And that's always a wonderful time. Oh, boy, look at this. This is neat.
Oh, fun.
Well, for a minute, I thought you kids had Garage Logic Hall of Fame medallions, but those are 4-H medallions, aren't they? And let's have these gals come up. Doris Mold is our animal wrangler. She has been providing Hall of Fame service to Garage Logic for longer than we can count. And you are, young lady, what's your name?
Therese
Therese what?
Wynand,
Where are you from?
Chisago County.
Okay, and your friend is?
I'm Miriam Wynand.
Oh, your sisters?
Yep.
Oh, and so I bet you're from Chisago County, too.
Attaboy.
Yep.
Yep. And you two have brought with you, what have you brought with you? They look like ducks.
Well, we've brought some of our egg production pullets.
Oh, boy. They're pullets.
Yep. Means they're young chickens.
Means they're young chickens. And do you raise these chickens?
Yep. We raised them straight from the hatchery box.
Oh, the hatchery. Was the earth uneven?
My
on the
father
way to
worked
the
at the hatchery.
Different
It's
story.
an old joke, honey. Now, your name again? I'm sorry.
I'm Miriam.
Miriam, and your name?
Therese.
Therese and Miriam. Now,
Why-
Miriam,
Why do you bother to write it down?
well, Max, 'cause I'm old.
Explain to the gentleman what exactly a hatchery box is.
Well, when we buy chickens from hatchery, they ship them just newborn chicks to us, and then we can take care of them from there.
They come in a box, Such.
Like a
US
package from
mail.
the mail, huh?
U.S.
Yeah,
mail.
they hang out. If you go to the post office, often in rural areas, you'll hear chicks cheeping, and they'll be in this box, and it's perfectly safe. They ship them in boxes, and we pick them up from the rural PO box.
Wow. Now, Therese, you're Therese.
Yep.
What's the name of your chicken?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
Because he's white.
Now these are egg-laying chickens,
Yep.
and then ultimately they're on the dinner table as a chicken.
Oh.
Not this one.
Oh, too special, or just they don't do that?
She is just a bit too skinny for that part.
Oh, okay. And Miriam, what about your chicken? What's that chicken's name?
Her name is Carmel, to go with our year's theme of sweets.
Oh, okay. Now, how many? Do you live on a farm?
Yep.
How many chickens do you have?
At least 100.
Oh boy! Wow. So you sell these eggs to the markets and what have you?
No, we don't. We just sell them individually to customers.
Okay.
How much does a dozen eggs cost?
Since we free range our birds, they're actually $3 a dozen.
Is that a good price, Rook?
That seems all right.
$3 a dozen. A year ago would be different. Right now, the market price is about $3.50.
Now,
And,
when,
and
for a
those are
quality
free
egg.
range.
Yep.
When you
That
s-
means those eggs are special, aren't they?
Yep, because they get to eat as many bugs, all the grass,
Oh,
anything they
wonderful.
want.
are they
Wonderful.
free range at night too, or do they go inside a building where they're safe?
They go inside a building to snuggle together.
Oh boy!
Right.
I will say. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say they wouldn't be around very long if they were outside
The
free
yolks,
range
the
chicken.
yolks would get them.
Yeah.
Now, girls, are you with a 4-H group?
Yep,
What group?
Excelsior.
Excelsior. But you're in Chisago Lake. Doesn't Chisago Lake have a group?
Right, but each club in Chisago County has a name, and Excelsior is one of the oldest clubs in
Oh, I
Chisago
thought
County.
they meant out by Lake Minnetonka.
No, it's up in Chisago County, and that's
Oh.
actually my old 4-H county as well.
Really?
So, yes.
Really? All right. And you are displaying, Therese and Miriam, are you displaying the chickens here?
Yep, they're up at the poultry barn.
Yep. Will they be judged for a ribbon?
We did that yesterday.
How'd you do?
For my class, I got a blue ribbon,
All right. Hey, a blue ribbon right here. All right.
and then I won showmanship.
You won what?
I won showmanship. for
Showmanship.
My class.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
How many eggs can they put out a day? Like this little gal right here.
This one today for most of the year.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
I
And
have
how
a que-
about you, Therese?
I'm Miriam.
Miriam.
Yep. Yep. He had a 50-50 shot
He
there,
had to
didn't
write
he?
them down.
I was on the right track there for a while. Miriam, your eggs are once a day, the chicken's eggs?
Yep.
All right.
Which came first?
Did you
Sorry.
did you campaign your chicken for a ribbon?
Yeah, she got a blue.
Oh, for Pete's sake!
Nice.
You guys are winning sisters.
Here.
You guys are winning sisters.
Well, we only bring winners
you
to
do,
GL,
Doris.
right?
You've done a great
Right.
job about that.
I do have a question about chickens.
Here we
Yes.
go. Here we go.
You're holding that chicken. Do chickens like to be handled, pet? What are their... I mean, if I put my finger by the chicken's mouth, what happens?
No.
Well, no, most of the time they like being pet and hold,
Yeah.
but if they're hungry, they will peck you.
Okay.
Am I going to get pecked?
No.
Do the chickens have large talons?
No, I was hoping nobody
Sorry.
would say it, and
Sorry.
Kenny
You,
did.
you don't call them talons. You
Oh,
call
here
them.
we go, Doris.
You call them. They're just plain old chicken feet.
Their feet.
All right.
Yeah.
Their feet, not
Well,
talons.
They're well-behaved chickens, girls. They really seem calm and happy.
And you know, Doris, Joe really has come a long way than when the last time you had chickens on, and he said, "Do they make female ones of these?"
right?
Yes.
Are
yes.
these male or female?
If they're laying eggs,
Laying
Joe, what
eggs,
do you
Joe.
think?
They're female.
There you go. Good. Okay. And now
Progress.
something. One question that you ask every year if we bring chickens up, you say, "How many eggs do they lay in a day?" They only do one a day.
One a day.
One a day.
One a day.
Seems
That's
kind of
it.
lazy.
Takes a hell of a long time to get a dozen eggs, then, doesn't it?
Well, that's why you
12
have
days.
100 chickens.
Oh, I guess so, Doris. Sure, that would do. The math would work then, wouldn't it? Right.
I know
Well,
math is a strong point of
it
yours.
really is.
Yes.
Therese and Miriam, thank you very much. And what's your last name?
Wynand.
Winan.
Like they previously
Yeah,
stated.
well, that's right.
Has
Thank
this
you.
been
Both
the
of- both of
highlight
them.
of your fair experience?
No, they're
being up
counting
here?
the minutes so they can leave. I'm guessing.
Yep.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yep, we have two younger brothers.
Two younger brothers. What are their names?
They're John and James.
John and
Gonna
James.
write
What
that down, Joe.
What a great
John and
family.
James.
And say hello to your mom and dad for us, and say hello to John and James.
Actually, Dad is somewhere down in the audience here. Oh, he's over there.
Where's Dad?
There's Dad.
Hello there.
And Dad works in the milking parlor, so this
Okay.
is, it's all connected, Joe.
And chickens, of course, do not get milked. I
They
know
do.
that
They.
much.
You're right.
I've learned a lot over the years, Doris.
Yep, and we're going to keep working on it, Joe, for many more.
Doris, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Miriam and Teresa. Is it Teresa?
Therese.
Therese, sure. Thank you very much.
We're sorry,
I'm going
gals.
to get it.
We're
one
I'm
of
really
those.
sorry.
Teresa and Miriam.
Close enough.
State Fair and
Thank you, guys. Those are some really nice chickens.
John, this has been your
I,
best newscast.
I
by
have
far.
a question, though.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to
Well,
ask it
maybe
when they
you-
were here.
Well, that's usually when you ask a guest.
Well, no,
a
I
question.
don't know. It's no. You guys just. Thanks, Doris.
Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you, no.
Miriam and Therese. When you go to the store, sometimes you
Yeah.
see packages with chicken feet.
Yeah.
What do you do with those?
Well, see, they would have known
Do you
that.
make soup?
They
What
would have known that.
do you do
Chicken
with
feet?
chicken feet?
Yeah, deep fry it.
Really?
Yeah.
With the bones and everything?
I think that's
Or
what
are they
that's like a
cartilage?
Chinese dish.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Isn't there a rock group named
What?
Chicken Feet?
What do you?
Sammy Hager's
Sammy
group?
Hagar.
Yeah,
and
Wasn't that
Michael
Chicken
Anthony,
Feet? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's foot. Chicken foot.
Chicken foot.
Same
Yeah.
thing. You
Chicken
know, feet,
foot.
Yeah.
foot.
Little
what are you
feet,
gonna
chicken
do?
foot.
Little
Boy,
feet.
it's a
chicken
good
foot.
thing Two Dogs didn't turn his animals loose.
There are many ways to cook them, such as chicken feet soup, bone broth, fried chicken feet, and of course the most popular dim sum chicken feet.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris.
That seems like something you do if you were on the prairie in like 1850.
Or
Ready to
really
swim.
desperate.
Yeah, you really got to be
You
hungry.
got to be desperate.
Yeah.
Well, Rook, do you want to take a break before we talk to Two Dogs?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. We'll be back shortly.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, they have it in the color. You want one? Do you like those turtles? I like a nice turtle. Johnny Head, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Big special thank you and
Thanks,
GL,
Johnny.
how you doing, to the Courtyard by Marriott in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Roseville for providing lodging for me during the State Fair. You'll enjoy a contemporary atmosphere in the modernized room and bathrooms with newly updated in-room accents at the Courtyard by Marriott at Minneapolis, St. Paul. Here's what I want to say. Big ass TV. Nothing worse than a hotel with a tiny TV.
Got a good one?
Nice, big, awesome TV.
Watch the Twins lose again?
They're good channels too. Showtime, the whole deal. It's located next to your favorite destinations: the U of M, the Fairgrounds, the Sports Center, Huntington Bank, downtown Minneapolis, the Rosedale Mall. Your amenities: free high-speed internet, ergonomic chairs, well-lit desks, meeting rooms, big meeting rooms. And these nice hotel rooms. I love the shower. They're going to help you thrive during your next visit to the Twin Cities. Took 3 showers yesterday, Such. Voted by guests as TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence Award winners. The Courtyard by Marriott in Roseville. You'll find all the amenities you expect. The Courtyard by Marriott in Roseville, located on Center Point Drive, just off 35W in Roseville.
We are joined by Two Dogs, who has been keeping alive the traveling reptile show of our great friend Monty. No longer with us, but Two Dogs claims he knows exactly where he is.
Time out. 1 second. Preempting Two Dogs is just a brief. The Minnesota Firefighters pipe and drum team is here.
Will that disturb the turtle?
What's that? Yeah.
Two Dogs, will that disturb the turtle?
We'll give him a green light. Go ahead.
All right.
And Paul is their spokesman. And
Look at these guys. What
Paul,
a nice outfit you guys have on. You have kilts on.
Paul, tell us what you're doing here today, just briefly, and before we. Truth be told, I saw him playing in this.
Oh, fantastic.
That was cool.
You know, the bagpipes drive a lot of people crazy. I don't mind them at all. I love bagpipes. Just think it's a wonderful sound. We only have time for one more, but I'd be honored if you do one for us. This fantastic music.
Green Hills.
Green
Hills of Scotland.
Oh, boy.
I mean, huh? Oh,
Just Green Hills.
okay.
Okay.
These guys are good.
Yeah, they are.
Fantastic.
Here, here,
Fantastic.
here.
Will you guys be all over the fairgrounds today, Paul? Oh, you're done. What is the point of the little case you guys have around your waist? What is that?
There's no pockets on these things.
Keep your
Oh,
change.
okay, okay.
Yep, keep your change.
Well, it was great. Thank you very
Thanks.
much. Thank you for stopping by. You guys are wonderful. It was great. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
The
two dogs.
Minnesota firefighters, pipes and drums.
We can wait on the reptiles if we're playing what are they wearing under their kilt today.
No, we're
I
not
got
gonna do
time.
it. What's your baptismal name, Two Dogs?
Brian is my given name.
Brian. And Brian is carrying on the great Monty Traveling Reptile Show, and you've brought a wonderful looking turtle, and I'm betting he's an old guy.
So actually, this guy is only about 20 years old, and this is an African sulcata tortoise.
Okay.
Difference between a turtle and tortoise. Tortoise is a land animal. Turtle, they're in the water. They have the webbed feet like a duck or a goose.
Oh.
For anyone in the world, it's probably not real important. You know the difference. I just like to tell people so they think I know what I'm talking about.
Right. So this is a tortoise,
Correct.
and that will not go near the water.
They'll go into shallow water to kind of take a bath because around their neck, if they get ticks and bugs in there, they can't really scratch like a dog can. So they'll
Right.
just go in and drown the little suckers.
We're not going to have
okay.
to cut the grass out here today. This
That
is
turtle
fantastic.
really loves to eat grass.
Yeah, and you could see how it just demonstrates their attitude completely. Like when the firefighters started playing the bagpipes and the drums, he didn't care at all because their attitude is whatever, I don't care.
Right.
They also do not understand the term go around something.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is, they're just going to keep pushing until it moves. They slide off the side, dig underneath. They will absolutely just a very male
I gotta-
mentality.
I
We're just
gotta-
straight ahead.
I got a kid who drives a car like that.
Now this,
Now, look at the little guys, Two Dogs. They really love this turtle.
but that turtle likes to eat small toes and fingers, right?
Oh,
Well,
my.
you know, like most animals and people, myself included, you stick a finger in my face, I'll be okay for a second, but I will teach you that lesson.
True. True.
I mean, I have children now, so, you know, if you poke me in the face long enough, like, I'm sorry. It's just, you had your chance. I warned you. You got to learn.
Two Dogs, do they have any predators, any enemies?
So these guys being from Africa, there's a lot of stuff that would love to mess with them when they get really hungry. So if you grow up in Africa, you either better be real mean and nasty like some of the lizards are, or you better be very well protected. These guys, you got the huge armored shell, and this guy's only about 75 pounds, so he's about half grown. But if we look on the front here, their front legs, which you'll notice are on backwards, have really thick scales on them.
Oh, man.
So the whole idea is the head goes in the shell,
Yep.
and then the elbows come across and close the door. So that's their protection.
Oh.
Basically, since they don't care, they're just going to close the door, wait for that lion hyena to get bored and realize, like, yeah, there's nothing I can do here, and then just go about their day. Friends of mine that have been down in Africa, like, it's the strangest thing. You're sitting there looking at the mountainside, and you're like, wow, I'm having a really good day because those boulders are moving across the mountain. Then they get a pair of binoculars, like, well, never mind. Those are tortoises just working their way across. I mean, it's a cow with a shell on its back. They're just grazing all day. But much like the chickens, they don't give milk.
Serious question, not trying to be silly. What's underneath? What's in the shell?
So inside the shell is the same insides we have. They actually have a spine just like us. So it's fused right to the top of their shell. So if you'd have told me this 18 years ago when I started helping Monty, like, yeah, I have a tortoise or turtle that actually enjoys being brushed. I would have said, like, I have a friend with a couch and a notepad. They would like to talk to you. It'd be a good spot for you to go. But they can actually feel that. So I imagine it's much like kind of how you can feel through your fingernails. Like it's a dull, deadened sensation, but they absolutely feel that. But all your other parts are in there. So with turtles and tortoises, since they do have that hard shell, we have to be careful on diet because if they get overweight, just like at Thanksgiving, if we eat too much, you loosen up the pants. Really hard to do that on a shell. So if they start getting overweight, it just starts squishing everything else out of the way.
Oh, in order for a lion to successfully ravage the turtle, not that I'm wishing for that, but the lion would have to flip it over, wouldn't it?
Well, they can flip them over, but we'll look at the skid plate here because this makes for great radio. When
Oh, there's a skid plate.
So
Oh, for
these guys are
Pete's sake.
absolutely armor plated.
They really are.
Now, if you look on this guy, you can see that the bottom is dished in.
Yeah.
On a female, that's going to be flat for room for making babies.
Right.
On the male, that's concave, so when we put the puzzle
Dogs.
together, we can make more.
Spin it around to show the crowd that it looks like the linoleum in my farmhouse from the 70s.
Look, it's got a skid plate.
You guys, when Two Dogs keeps lifting him up, he's the turtle's looking at him going, Frank, can't you see I'm eating here?
Yeah,
Trying
can't
to
you
eat
see him eating
Can't
here?
you see I'm eating, Frank?
So we have two of these big tortoises. So we're on Nelson Street, right across from the DNR fish ponds.
Yeah.
It's only $3 to get in. Well, I'll be honest. We want your money, but not all of it. Just a little. We're taking a stand against inflation.
Wonderful.
This year. Next year, we're probably going to give in. But
Right.
this year, we're taking a stand.
Wonderful.
Our morals will end next year, though.
And what will people see there as we
Oh.
walk?
So there's over 40 live reptiles. So we have two of these big tortoises. When you come in, there's always one right there that you get to pet. But since these are the guys dealing with you people every day, not you guys, all the other people, they work every other day. So they work a total of 6 days a year. It's a really good gig if you can get it. I highly recommend
Right.
it. But then, you know, there's the 20-foot snakes, rattlesnakes, Gila monsters, anacondas. One really big change this year, though, Joe. Albert went down in December. And Albert is our 48-year-old alligator.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a theory on this because when Albert died, I took a look inside him, which is a very hard thing to do with an animal you've had your entire life.
Right.
But he was an educational animal. He's taught a lot of things. This was his last chance to teach me a lesson. I had to know, okay, did I do something wrong? Because whatever it is, we don't want to repeat it. Took a look inside him, and other than the fact that he was dead, that is the healthiest animal I've ever looked inside
Really?
of.
Oh.
So I have a theory. We can all agree Monty moved on. There's a little controversy which way he went, up or down, but he moved on. My theory is, you know, Monty either got sick of everybody there or people got sick of him, so he came back and got Albert, his alligator, so he'd have somebody to
That
hang out
makes
with.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that theory.
So
Now-
the day Monty passed away in California, Albert the alligator absolutely destroyed Monty's shop vac.
Really?
And Albert, if you left anything out, he would teach you that you should pick it up because he'd grab it and chew it up. The shop vac was put away up on the table where it always is, and Albert won't mess with it. So he was motivated. He went up on the table, grabbed that, and absolutely destroyed it.
Did Albert knew, in other words?
Albert knew before I got the phone call. So I was out in the snake room looking at it like, what got into you?
Yeah.
Like, this is completely out of the ordinary.
Monty had a relationship with the thing. It lived
Well,
in his
100%,
house. Lived
yeah.
in his house.
Yeah.
Well, we had a relationship with Albert.
And,
Yeah,
and
you
that
you
gator
ran
was
away from him.
was very, very smart. I mean, he absolutely knew what was going on. If you were smart enough to pay attention to Albert, he would tell you everything he was going to do, what we could get away with, and when like, nope, pull the plug, we've gone far enough.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm kind of sentimental. I kept that shop vac hose that Albert destroyed.
Good.
So when we buried Albert, we put him in his old stock tank. We put all mulch down real nice. Everything's got to be squared away for Monty. It's got to be
Right.
done right.
Right.
And then we laid that shop vac hose in there with him before we layer
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Nice touch.
Wonderful.
because it just seemed right.
Absolutely.
Monty might not have had a shop vac hose, and if he could have one that was all chewed up from Albert,
Yeah.
serves him right.
That's right. That's right.
I got a quick question for you, Two Dogs. Did Barrero ask these wonderful questions as well, or how did that go?
Well, he asked one question, but at the end of it, 15 minutes later, I wasn't sure what the question was.
Danny B. Whoa. Holy.
Oh, that's a lizard.
So
it's
every
not.
cloud
not a
has your
lizard,
silver
Joe.
lining.
What is
So
it?
we have 4 young gators.
Oh, it's a
and
gator.
With Albert going down, that means 2 of the little gators have to step up this year. So we have Archer and Bentley. We brought Archer today, which means they get a lot more attention. Because
Yep.
with Albert, he's bulletproof. He knows the routine. It's just, you're good. Well, now we got basically 2 little young, unruly teenagers in there that think they're really tough, but they're actually scared of everything. So
Right.
they go from acting real tough to freaking out. But now they're getting messed with every day. We're in there cleaning with them. And they've learned real fast. So Hank helps me out. And when Hank goes in there, they know, like, hey, if I run up on the shelf,
Yeah.
nobody messes with me.
Right.
So each day we work a little closer to them, so that way they learn, like, okay, all this going on, it's not going to bother me.
Right.
Because Albert had it figured out, like, yeah, 5 minutes of work, you guys will go away, and my life is gravy.
Right.
Because occasionally we have to remind these guys there are other uses for them.
Right.
Like, there's some just absolutely beautiful leather workers out there these days,
That's
and
right.
your skin
That's right.
looks good.
That's
But
right.
we're not using that, but it's on the table, and they have to know that we're serious. Just like with the kid, we can't bluff.
GLers, do you want to see how Rookie's about to lose a finger?
No.
Is he intimidated by me right now?
No, no. Yep. So this guy, he's 7 years old, and are there any 7-year-old kids here today? No. Well, when you turn 7, you'll figure this out. Or if you got a 7-year-old brother, 7-year-olds love to throw tantrums
Oh,
all
boy.
the time.
I've got one at home.
Gators are no different, and if we let them throw their tantrum and get away with it, they're smart enough, like the next time you go to get them out, like, oh, I'm going to throw that tantrum. It got me out of work last time. I'm going to try it again.
How big will this guy get?
So most likely he's going to top out between 8 and 12 feet.
Okay.
But if he's got the right genetics, he might be 15, and who knows, maybe he's one of the weird ones that's going to get closer to 20,
Wow.
which would be absolutely awesome, but it means we need to put our work in now when we can still pick him up and
Right.
remind him, like, we're in charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His neck right now is
That's fantastic. These are beautiful.
Yeah,
creatures.
so he's like that teenage boy walking around right now, kind of strutting, puffing his chest out, like, I'm not actually tough, so I'm going to make it look like I'm tough.
Yeah.
So it's
We have sales guys like that.
Yeah.
Can it run pretty fast if you put it on the ground? Would it take off, make a
Yeah, so-
beeline for the cookies?
So being held, typically, I shouldn't say this because he'll freak out now, but when he's held, when we do birthday parties in schools, he tends to be pretty calm like this. When you put him down on the ground and let him go, then all of a sudden it's like, you guys are really tall and I have my freedom. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
See ya, yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'm going to run away.
Yeah, yeah.
Real quick, but not for terribly long. But I
Oh.
did find out at one thing, we were outside and I was just walking him on the ground, so he's kind of trotting away. Then a whole classroom of first graders come over, like a stampede. And all of a sudden the gator turned and ran right back to me. I'm like, well, that was just dumb luck. They pushed him back to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Well, this happened a few more times. Like, yeah, you know that I'm the safe one. Like,
Yes.
it's like, Mom, I don't like you. I don't like you. The real world. Mom, I need help.
He does kind of have his head up in your shoulder like it's a kid,
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
he's
yeah,
snuggling.
They're smart. They know what's going on, but we're still young, so we're still getting figured out. Like, life's okay.
Yeah.
All this chaos going on around here, it's not going to get to me. It's not going to bother me.
Right.
I know this guy's just going to take care of me.
Two Dogs, thank you very much.
Thank you,
And,
Joe. Good to be back.
Yeah, get over to Monty's, you guys. You'll really love it.
If you have young kids, that's the best value here.
Yep.
Seriously.
It's fantastic.
It is.
Two Dog, wait before you leave. Your address again. Where can we find you?
So we're on Nelson Street, but if you're like me, that means absolutely nothing to you. But
Right.
everybody knows where the DNR fish ponds are.
Yep.
That's free. That's one of the few things cheaper than us. You just go across the street, you'll see Care 11, then you'll see us. $3 to come in. And the beautiful thing about $3, if you don't like it, you're not out much and I'm not out much, so you don't have to feel bad. But if you come in and you freak out and like, nope, this is not for me, we will try our darndest to have that $3 out so you can just grab it as you run by.
All right.
Because if you're not going through, we know that's just not right to take your
All
money.
right, thank you. Wouldn't be the fair without Monty.
Our condolences on Albert. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really news that I was very excited to share with anyone, so I kept that pretty close to the chest. And like, just, you know, Monty was gone. Like, well, let's celebrate. You know, there's people that are sad. There's people that are happy. We'll throw a party for both of you.
Copy that.
Thanks, Two
All
Dogs.
right, thank you. Thank you very much.
I guess it's my turn, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
Let's talk about our friends at Hofferman Water. It's Reavers here once again for Hofferman Water. Boy, do I love my Kinetico system from Hofferman Water, and I know that you will too. Hofferman is an independent water treatment dealer, and they offer sales, service, and rental, by the way. I've been asked about rental a couple of times, and that's for Kinetico water treatment systems, which also includes water softeners, iron, rust, and odor filtration systems, and, of course, drinking water systems. I'm having a drinking water system installed in the near future, and I am so happy that I made the switch to Kinetico, and I know that you will be too. Here's the best thing about Kinetico. It's going to do a lot of things that other water softeners just simply cannot do. It will cut down on your salt usage, but it's going to protect your appliances because bad water will affect almost every single aspect of your home. So listen, showers are going to be better. My mother-in-law was staying with us the last couple of days, and she said, I can't believe how much better a shower is at your house. And I said, Sharon, you can't live here now. You got to go back home. But anyway, call Hofferman today and get in touch about that Kinetico system. I had it installed years ago, and I'm so glad I did, and I know that you will be too. Call them today, 952-894-4040, or just visit them online at HoffermanWater.com. 952-894-4040. It's Hofferman Water, proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please tell them you heard about them right here on the Garage Logic Podcast. Hey, Rook.
Only because they come to us all the way from Livingstone, Zambia, Africa, from the traveling Lymans. On this day in 1731, Frenchman Pierre La Vérendrye and his voyageurs landed at Grand Portage to begin an expedition into the region west of the Great Lakes. La Vérendrye eventually established a trading post, Fort St. Charles, on Lake of the Woods. And on this day in 2000, Women's Equality Day in Minnesota.
What is today's date?
Today's date is August 20. Oops, my date went away.
26.
26
They had
today.
a memorial for women on this day.
Way to put some effort into that,
It was a
Joe.
hell of a day. It was a hell of a
All
day.
right, everybody, it's Mail-In Friday.
Thank you, GLers.
You're like
Thank
one of those guitar players that goes.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Today's super fast exit is brought to you by Spiralite Candles, located at the
Don't trip,
grandstand.
Joe. Joe, don't trip.
We invite you to check them out online at spiralitecandles.com.
Now,
Spiralitecandles.com.
why are they not
Have a good
boring
weekend, Joe.
Oh, we almost had a casualty.
Uh-oh.
We had
We got her.
GLers helping Two Dogs with the traveling reptile
Couple free
show.
admissions there. That's okay. You're good.
Where are they in the grandstand, Rookie? They are, by the way, they are the Garage Logic Daily State Fair sponsor, Spiralite Candles is. So thanks to them for sponsoring today's show live at the Great Minnesota Get Together. Oh, we're going to do that. Nice. And also thank you to everybody that logged in today for the Garage Logic live feed on the Facebook page and also on the Garage Logic YouTube page. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube page. Our guy Pat back here is already sick of me, and it's only 2 days, and he's been doing an awesome job of documenting all of this via
Well, what about
video
the
feed.
talk shop?
The talk shop's here. And, oh, by the way, if you aren't able to make it to the state fair, Go online because the same shirts are available at the website because a lot of people were bummed out. If they can't get to the fair, they still want to buy a shirt. Go online, garagelogic.com, and you can get a State Fair shirt online, Rook.
Thanks, guys. Check out PodMN on your smartphone for all of your podcast needs. Subscribe to us on YouTube so you can get clips of the State Fair shows and the likes.
The like?
I think our outro music just gave up on us, by the
Did
way.
it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Give me a blues riff in B. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. Thank you. That was Johnny Height, ladies and gentlemen. Chilling like a villain.
No Prano Pup Blues this
Chilling
week.
like a
That'll be
villain.
next Friday.
All right, we'll see you on Monday, folks. Thanks for tuning in.